Top of the morning. Clemente's got in the call sheet that Messi, Lionel Messi, is absolutely destroying Major League Soccer in the United States. He dropped 9 goals in 6 games. Signal probably has something to say about this, just about the caliber of European player compared to American player. Going into this, I thought Americans were better at soccer. I guess I was totally wrong, huh?
You were completely wrong. I think your knowledge on European football, first of all, as we call it, is opposite to your MMA knowledge. Lionel Messi, he's the GOAT of all GOATs. I think what's most interesting about what's happening in football at the moment is just how much money the Saudis are willing to put into their top players. Some people think it's like it could potentially kill the European market because they just don't have the funds to compete against the Saudis. Yeah, I mean, let's see where it goes. It's hard to give up those kind of numbers when you're like a 20-something-year-old footballer. Messi, obviously older. I think he's in the right team and the right country for where he is. And he's being really, really smart with how he's approaching his business deals. So yeah, I'm loving it. I mean, I paid no attention to the American club. Sorry, got to say it.
Tickets surged down here.
I know, like, wasn't it like an average ticket was like $80 and now it's
way less. $36, something like that. $40 for a ticket. You could buy season tickets for $400. The second that they announced the Messi signing, those tickets speed ran to, I think it was like 1,000 a game. And then the season tickets were like just shy of 10,000 just to watch Messi play. Opening night was like literally the most star-studded soccer game in US history. Like anyone was there. From like known Twitch streamers to LeBron James to Kim Kardashian. Like it was the most packed thing I've seen. The other thing he brought up was the Saudi thing. This happened with golf, of all things. The Saudi league in golf was paying golfers $130 million for a single season of golf in what they called the Live. And then what happened was the PGA just bought out the Live. They were like, "Fuck it, let's merge." And there's speculation that what's going to happen is the Saudi teams will potentially get into like a cross-continent league because of the funds, because European League has higher viewership, higher marketing. So marketing spend still higher despite player balance. But you're now seeing this like weird dynamic where they're like trying to figure out how not to lose all their best players, because that's kind of like the situation that we're in is like, oh man, what happens if these people tell us to just like pound sand and we're going to go play in the Saudi league?
Well, did you guys see real quick, Neymar just signed, he's getting $326 million over the next 2 years, and he gets a fully staffed mansion, a private plane. They pay him $500,000 per social media post about the league, and then $87,000 per win. And then yesterday there was footage of a Saudi fan, giving a player a Rolex after the game. He just like handed it to him. He's like, "What the hell do I do with this?"
That's ridiculous. I mean, look, the Saudi money is different. I worked like at one of my day jobs. It was at like a financial company. A guy that was a cybersecurity guy just left the bank. He left the company to go and work in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as a cybersecurity guy. And I was like, "Why are you doing that?" And he was like, "The comp." And it's like he was just guapping up. And I guess he would travel every weekend. So he would just bomb so a lot of like, I don't think a lot of people think about like, geography regularly, but if you look at where Riyadh is, it's actually in a pretty interesting part of the world where I think it's probably like a legit 6-hour flight to say London, right? It might even be longer actually, right?
Yeah.
It's even longer. So it's not like your weekend trips are super duper easy. It's not like being in Spain and you zip over to France or to Lisbon or something, right? And so he had because there's nothing to do socially in Riyadh. My understanding is maybe someone that is from there would have a different opinion, but I think he was traveling every weekend. He was going to like Marrakesh, Morocco, different places nearby, but just guapping up. And I don't think you pay taxes, or like, I don't know what the tax situation is. It's much more favorable. And they pay for your rent. Like they basically take away all your living expenses and give you like, the best place to live with a pool and a crazy gym and everything like that. it's pretty interesting stuff. I once got approached about a job in the Middle East also. However, the recruiter, I distinctly remember, because I just thought it was so interesting. The recruiter that approached me about it, he was like an English guy. He was like, the days of Saudi money just being like a get rich free card, or I don't remember how he put it, but basically was saying like, it's not what it used to be. Like, it's not just you're going to go make 300 grand and have an easy job and they're going to pay your rent and all that stuff. But I think it was like that for the cybersecurity guy, but cybersecurity is a super duper in demand skill set. Back to soccer, back to Messi. I mean, it seems like the guy is incredible, still got a ton of talent. And who even would be a comparable in the United States? Is it Ibrahimovic that came over too? But was he more washed?
He was done. Like Ibrahimovic came over on a much smaller deal, and he basically did it. A lot of people speculate for like just wanting to retire in the US and get some level of citizenship and be able to just like kick back and relax. I think like Beckham, when Beckham came over and played for LA Galaxy,
Yeah, that was a big deal. Yeah,
because that was a huge deal because Beckham was still cooking in Europe and playing really, really well. And for him to then come over to LA Galaxy on a massive deal. The thing that's the most interesting about this deal with Messi is the Apple deal that he actually gets. So he gets ad share and revenue from Apple for every game that's streamed, which is like the first of its kind. And that's where people are like, dude, this is wild. Like, I never expected like a player to get this type of benefit from playing soccer, which I think is crazy.
Also, as well, what's different is that when Beckham went over to LA Galaxy all those years ago, like people didn't really pay that much attention, especially just because there was so much focus on mainstream football. But what I'm finding very curious at this moment in time is that you're having these Miami games and then you're having your biggest celebrities like front row, your Kim Kardashians, your biggest rappers. That does not happen in European football when a big name transfers to another club. You do not get like the biggest rappers being front row at the game, but also making it to the papers the next day as if that's something interesting. What makes the papers the next day is like the fouls, the goals, actually about the sport. So I'm finding it very interesting, the dynamic that I'm guessing it's a business decision as well, that they're taking with bringing celebrities in and leveraging David Beckham, leveraging his wife, leveraging their brand and the club to bring more eyeballs to the game. I think that's really clever because that wasn't there when Beckham went to Galaxy those years ago.
Well, the thing too down here, what's crazy is like the merch side of things is what's like even wilder. Like you literally walk down like Wynwood in Miami and there's people on the corners selling Messi jerseys, both home and away jerseys, just slinging them. And those, they get sales, like frequent sales. So I cannot even imagine what the official jerseys are selling for on game nights and stuff like that. Like that's probably the most interesting thing to me here is just how much money this organization is making off of this play. Like, I think that is probably the most interesting thing across the board here is like, they're just printing cash at this point.
Yeah, I mean, well, soccer is, football, whatever you want to call it, is obviously going to be popular as hell in Miami. Big Latino population. It might have the biggest upside out of any sport down there. Interesting stuff. Fun to touch on the sports world a little bit. Look, today we're going to discuss the continued run from meme-based NFT collections. Are you referring to like Sproto Gremlins?
Oh, yeah. Almost 2 ETH. They're almost 2 ETH.
That's not a meme-based collection. I got a different.
No, it's a cult.
Well, I got a different word, but I'm not going to say it on the show. Crypto price action and portfolio management in the bear market and discussion of NFT collections potentially set for a run at the end of the summer. Also want to give a quick shout out to Jesse Smith, the artist for today's free NFT drop. Second time that we did a free NFT drop in a collaboration with Jesse. Everybody loved his first drop. It was super duper dope. And we're really excited about this one. If you don't know Jesse is a tattoo artist of 25 years. He's known for his feature on Paramount's Ink Master TV show. So all you competition TV show people out there, he was on Ink Master. Again, this is the second time being featured in our Artist Spotlight series. Couldn't be more excited about it. So you can follow his project. So I find it, I can't pronounce it. It's a Carcaeus. There we go, Carcaeus. And you can learn more about the upcoming Explorers drop on August 23rd, which is actually on crypto.com. So cool collab that Jesse locked in with crypto.com. And also just to put it out there, if you are an artist, you can apply to be featured on the Artist Spotlight series at the nifty.com/artist. Clemente will also pin a tweet at the top of the space so that you can be featured like Jesse is today. It's not a sponsored thing. You do not have to pay for it. We just like to support artists and give people a platform to be able to showcase their work and hopefully, direct people that enjoyed their work that collected on our site to a drop like the one that we're talking about here, the Explorers drop that Jesse is doing. So again, really excited about Jesse Smith doing another, drop on the nifty.com. Cool stuff. Why don't we dive into the weather report? Signal, are you ready to rock and roll there?
Absolutely. It is Wednesday, August the 16th. You got that total market volume coming in at 16 million. Blur taking, as usual, the lion's share at 8 million. OpenSea looking a bit more healthy at 4.4 million. Onto leaders, Ape still under 30. You got Punctures hovering under 50 at 47.9. Pretty constant. Mutants holding that 5.8 floor. DeGods down to 4.22. We'll talk about that more. Captains doing pretty well, holding steady at 4.7. And same as Izuki, holding that 4.8. Pudgy Penguins underneath the 4 ETH wall. They're back at 3.9, whilst Miladies, that's a new one coming in at 4.3. Over the past 24 hours, well, the meat on the bone is DeGods. They have continued to see the most attention after Matchy Big Brother became the largest holder. He now owns over 300 DeGods. This actually resulted in Frank asking him to not dump all of them at once live on a Twitter space yesterday. There's still 500 outstanding blend loans on DeGods, so people are concerned about the liquidation fees and the further sell pressure on the collection. DeGods are down another 14% in the last 24 hours, currently sitting at 4.22. We'll talk about that more. Onto Milady Makers, and they continue to trend closer to their all-time high of 5.5 ETH. They're up almost 30% to 1.86 ETH in the last 7 days. They are successfully flipping Pudgy Penguins and DeGods and inching closer towards Azuki and Captains. Meanwhile, those Sproto Gremlins, they hit another all-time high of 1.86 ETH. They're up about 150% over the last 7 days. You even have NFT trader Dancing Eddie. He went viral in the last couple of days for saying that Sproto Gremlins, he's going to call them down to 0.4 ETH in the next 2 weeks. Over in fine art, the Kingdom of Laughing Man, which was a generative art collection by Yu Min Jun. Sorry if I butchered the name, but in collaboration with Live Art. This is set to fully reveal today at 10 a.m. Eastern. That collection has done extremely well post-mint. The collection now trading at 0.45 ETH with an all-time high of 0.7. Lastly, popular thread writer NFT God, friend of the show, he went viral overnight after Elon Musk responded to his thread about what needs to change about the Twitter algorithm. After 12 hours, the thread has already 1 million impressions and counting. So congrats to NFT God. For now, things are pretty steady in crypto. So it's back to you in the studio.
Shout out to NFT God. He's been trying to bait Elon Musk basically for like months. I think basically since Elon Musk bought Twitter, bought X, NFT God has been trying to bait him. The way he ended up getting him here is he just didn't even tag him, right? Didn't tag him, just baited him saying, Elon, you asked earlier today what you should change about the algorithm. I went through all 13,000 lines of code for you. That's a great hook right there from NFT God. I went through all 13,000 lines of code for you. For all you people in the audience that are, focused on tweeting, focused on X, pay attention to NFT God, man. He's doing what you are trying to figure out how to do. He's writing stuff that people want to read. His impression count goes crazy. Go look at NFT God's tweets over the past week and just do a little mental math on how many impressions he gets. He's putting the work in. He's thinking about it. He's focused on it. I see a lot of people that act like they're focused on it. You're not focused on it like NFT God is, man. Get in there. His name ain't going to be NFT God anymore, by the way. I guarantee he changes it to just his real name or something in the next 6 to 12 months. No shot he's going to keep repping NFT God. There's no point in him repping NFT God because y'all ain't supporting him. Elon Musk is supporting him. So don't hate. You'll see more success from him. I'm longing the NFT God X presence or Twitter presence. I ain't shorting it. I respect skill sets, and I know when I see him. So
he hosted a like literally a space about like, hey, here's what's new on X last week, and he had like 2,000 total listeners right when it finished. I think he had concurrent like 800 listeners. He had a bunch of like Elon Musk parody account, I think, talking on it.
So the Elon Musk parody account was the bait and switch on that one. Okay. So like everyone thought it was, I went in because I was like, holy shit, is that Elon Musk? That was the bait and switch. I didn't say I was longing NFT God as a radio host, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't say, yo, watch out. This is the next Howard Stern. Look out for him. But written tweets all day, baby. All day, impressions out the yin yang.
Yeah. And also congrats to him because he's been doing that for over a year. That's not something that happened overnight. He's
18 months.
18 months he's been doing that. So congrats to NFT Gods for hitting the jackpot on getting Elon to respond.
Real recognized real. Look out for it. Anyway, some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest daily newsletter. Nick doesn't want me to tell you to subscribe to it because he thinks we have no new listeners. But look, the reality is if you want to collect Jesse Smith's free NFT today that's dropping on our platform, you have to have an account at thenifty.com. Go to thenifty.com and make an account. You'll be subscribed to the newsletter. But more importantly, you'll be able to collect the free NFTs that we give out almost daily. And it'll introduce you to the Nifty and Bodogos ecosystem where you can earn bones and buy packs with bones that have NFTs that you can sell, because I know all you care about is making money if you're in the NFT space. Anyway, stories from the newsletter. Generative artist and art blocks founder Snowfro, also an investor in the Nifty seed round, fun fact, announced a collaborative generative edition project called Heart and Crafts, catchy name, with Jordan Lyle, priced at 0.01 Ethereum each, set to launch on August 24th. First release from Snowfro in quite a while. NFT Statistics, friend of the show, guest on here several times. Love having him on the show. Love reading his tweets. Shared a chart revealing a $2.2 billion loss in the market cap of major NFT profile picture projects in the last 6 months. No shit, Sherlock, is my response to NFT stats. No, just kidding. Great chart, great statistics. Everybody knows that NFT profile picture projects have gone underwater over the past 6 months, but it's fantastic to see the graph representing them. I pulled up some charts for Clemente today that I'm excited to dive into later regarding crypto cycles, and I think a lot of y'all are going to have your minds blown at the simplicity of this stuff. Next story, Doodles revealed the upcoming launch of their 1 foot tall physical figurines. It's about damn time. Set to be available on August 18th through various channels, including the online Doodle store, the physical camp store in Chicago, and BBC ice cream locations in Miami and New York. Keep it simple, Doodles. Keep it simple. NFT collections, make physical collectibles, figurines, things like this. Luca figured it out. Invisible Friends is doing it. Bored Ape Yacht Club did it once and decided they didn't think it was worth doing it again. But Doodles was trying to sell like $400 jean jackets that nobody wanted to buy. They should have been selling physical figurines. It's only right. It only makes sense. Love to see it. Going to be fascinated to see how they turn out. They look like, 1 foot tall vinyl stores. They look like they're high vinyl toys. They look like they are high quality, and excited to see them. Last story. NFT Inspect, the NFT social media analytics tool that was once the focus of the entire Solana ecosystem. Everybody participating on Solana Twitter was obsessed with being ranked on NFT Inspect. They tease support for a 4th blockchain with its INSP token expected to be launching soon. So we'll see what happens with that token and how that token will play into the ecosystem. Those are your stories from the Nifty Daily Digest. Go to thenifty.com to subscribe. That's how you're going to be able to mint the free NFT on the platform by Jesse Smith today. Anyways, we got to talk about the Kanpai Pandas Dutch auction results. I saw that Ice Bags, Daryl Milk Bags, he came on the show. I asked him what his actual name was. I still don't have a clear answer. Too many aliases for me to take care of. But anyway, solid guy, solid project founder, really fascinating to see what he's been doing with the MMA community. I did see him tweet that in the Dutch auction, as it went down, he took a shot for every like 5 Solana it went down. I'm assuming he was hammered. Anyway, Easy, what happened here?
I said you are going to be shit-faced by the end of this. You don't know how Solana works. If you think taking a shot for every single time this thing ticks down, it went to the lowest price point, which as we see is 82 Sol. Secondary's done about 1,000 Solana volume, which is solid. It's currently sitting at 86 Sol floor price right now. It's not hyper liquid, so you're not seeing a lot more buys come in at the moment. I am interested in this from Solana, of course. We have 4 days till they close the mint, about 400 minted. Little under, like 350 minted, which solid, like real solid. I'm curious to see what they're going to do here to figure out a balance if this doesn't fully sell out, and figure out like what their avenue is to move forward with something like this. Because right now, yeah, now it's up to 91. So not too bad. Instant sell is still on their mint price. So you do have some people who are interested for sure. And I mean, I think Kanpai Pandas is one of the more interesting projects. They don't have the layer 0 bridge yet for Solana because it's not built. But I think once that's built, this becomes inherently more interesting from like arbitrage opportunities across chains for this project, especially knowing how Solana moves and navigates. Yeah, so they have a space, I believe, tomorrow at 10:30. Oh, no, today at 10:30 a.m., where they're actually breaking down this. I'm very curious to hear like what their plan is in the event of a non-sellout.
What was interesting, real quick, P, I just noticed that Kanpai Pandas also, the problem was Kanpai Pandas on ETH basically dipped below the lowest mint price for Sol, right? So now you have Kanpai Pandas sub 1 ETH, so they're like $1,700 versus the Solana mint at like $1,900. So it's like, you know, the incentive to mint is super low right now.
There you go. I mean, look, anytime you have to pause the mint, anytime you have to cut supply, it's a tough situation. I'll be curious to see what happens. He's had a ton of success with the floor price of Kanpai Pandas. There's no question about it. Anytime it's dipped as low as like 0.6 or 0.7, which by the way, on a 10,000 supply profile picture collection is a super duper high price. You just got to do the math sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, and think about how many of these damn NFTs there are. 10,000. It's a lot of NFTs for each one to be worth 0.6 Ethereum is crazy. And we're talking about a project that now has dipped. It's dipped to 0.96 Ethereum. It's very impressive. If you haven't been paying attention to what this guy's been doing, he's been basically rooting himself deeply in the mixed martial arts community, starting at the top, sponsoring the heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC, John Jones, one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in the sport, if not literally the greatest fighter of all time, is just continuing to sport Kanpai Pandas merch. I think it's fascinating. I think it's, you know, something to pay attention to in the space. That doesn't mean go buy the NFT, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying from a business perspective, it's fascinating. They also have a podcast that they're doing where they interview the biggest names in the sport. And they have this collaboration with Karate Combat, who you've probably heard me talk about on the show because there's a crypto token integrated. There's just a lot of interesting juice happening over there. I don't know what's going to happen with the Solana mint. I don't know what the story is with it, but we'll have to see how it ends up playing out. Easy or Signal, Clemente, anything else to add on the Kanpai Panda situation?
I like their exposure to like the traditional world with it, the MMA side of things, the Karate Combat style of things. I mentioned yesterday too, they had teased that they're working on their own fight league. I'm really curious to see what happens with that. You have Mighty Mouse rocking a Kanpai Pandas PFP. So like you already have this level of exposure that to me is really, really interesting from like traditional fighters, like which is really cool to me as like an MMA fan. And I think it's awesome to see this like gap start to get bridged outside of the space where there's inherent interest into some level of this. I like the collaboration with the fight leagues that they've been doing, seeing the fighters, seeing the logos all over, and then obviously them wearing the merch. It draws a level of interest. And I think it's really solid that they're doing a media play with the Underdogs podcast, which is getting some of the other big fighters to talk about the upcoming fights and all these other key components that they're doing. So I'm a fan of everything that's rolling out. I'm not surprised that like this Solana mint kind of panned out how it has, just knowing Solana and the Dutch auction in a bear market is very, very tough to manage. So seeing that, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, this isn't the most surprising situation, but if anything, they'll figure out how to pivot and drive value back to those that did mint, which becomes really, really interesting for me.
Yeah, so we'll see how it plays out. Also, I got a DM regarding physicals in the context of Yuga, and the person referenced the Gucci necklace. I'm not talking about making multi-$1,000 necklaces that people that own Yuga assets would never buy otherwise. I'm talking about toys, ladies and gentlemen. You're in a digital collectible space. If it's not crypto, right? If you're not talking about crypto, then you're talking about collectibles. And if you're talking about collectibles, toys definitely are a thing. Like, call it sculptures, whatever you want to call it. If you want to take the cause route and think about the sculptures, at the end of the day, I'm just surprised that more brands in the NFT space didn't do this. Why didn't Cool Cats do vinyl toys when they were at 10 ETH or like during the bull run? Clemente's got the super plastic Bored Ape pulled up, which I thought was pretty damn cool. They only did it once. They didn't do it again. I would have thought that they'd do it again. It's cool to see Doodles do it. I hope to see more brands in the space do it. Look, Clemente's got crypto technical analysis served up for us. Clemente, I sent you a guy that I'd never heard of before. The way that I found this person is there was a viral graphic going around NFT and crypto Twitter yesterday that I thought was a very cool way to display previous Bitcoin. I'm going to call them Bitcoin cycles. You can call it a crypto cycle if you want, but previous cycles, right? And you hear me talk about this a lot, how 3 times in a row, we've had cycles that look relatively similar and follow a similar pattern. And I imply that there's a decently high likelihood that we'll see a similar pattern again. And then people call me an asshole. And so I think it's a pretty interesting situation that's how people perceive it. I'm like, yeah, it's happened 3 times in a row. Gee, I wonder if it might happen again. And people are like, you're dumb. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. But anyway, this graphic went viral. The person that made it is tagged on the top left. I don't know who this is, or Aurelian Ohayon. I don't know what the hell his name is. When you go to his Twitter account, it's terrible. It's like a bunch of shills for Bybit. It sucks. So I don't know what the deal is with this guy. But if you go to Media Clemente and you look at some of his TA, and keep in mind, I'm not a TA guy. I'm not Mr. I need to predict what Bitcoin is going to do over the next week, right? I'm just accumulating during periods that feel like they're the bottom of a cycle, because obviously they are. Bitcoin's at 30K, which is less than 50% of its all-time high. But I wanted to see what Easy, as someone that actually does technical analysis and understands technical analysis, feels about what this guy is putting up. Ignore the Bybit shills that are literally completely excessive. It's unbelievable how often this guy is posting junk on his...
Get that cheddar. Get that cheddar.
I mean, good God, for that not to kill his engagement, I don't understand how it works. But yeah, Easy, what do you make of what you're seeing here from this guy?
I think this is spot on, like truly spot on. We're now through the summer lull. Where we are right here in the chart is chop through the rest of this year, and then setting up for 2024 election year, Bitcoin halving, all in the same year, typically is what you want to see. Like, I think from a volume standpoint and from a market standpoint of where volume and market cycle, this is exactly what you can kind of hope for. And then it's shaping up for a strong 2025, which a lot of people are basically saying, this is where I think the market's shifting towards. This is what I think is going to happen. The tough part is, I will say, like you always have now people coming out that are like, if everyone's saying this bull market's coming back in 2024, 2025, does it actually happen? Because usually the opposite happens. But 3 times in a row.
That's what happened last time. Last time they were saying the same thing. They were saying that the halving was priced in. Going into the halving, Bitcoin was like 10K. It finished the cycle at 69K.
So call me crazy here. I think 2023 repeats more of not last cycle, but the one before it. So where we actually see a slight uptick, similar to 2015. The reason being, I just think that we've had such a lull in the summer session where we are seeing Europe adopt a spot Bitcoin ETF. Coinbase just got approved for futures for Bitcoin and Ethereum, which opens up a lot more liquidity and volume trading, short coverings, long coverings, which tends to be a lot choppier. Whereas what we see in 2019, just a grind downward, where so far we've been in this like plateauing move, where I think we actually start a similar uptrend, if not just chop, going into 2024. We'll basically be at the bottom of that box already. Would it shock me if we saw an uptick through the end of the year, slight sell-off into the start of the year, mid-year rally is almost like what I'm hoping for going with that election cycle, as crypto has actually become a political means as of late, which is a crazy concept. When you start to look at candidates and the situation that's been developing, you have Elizabeth Warren with the anti-crypto army being a platform that she's standing on and pushing. You then have DeSantis and RFK pushing very pro-Bitcoin. You now have senators coming out openly stating that we're falling behind in a race towards crypto adoption in an emerging technology that's only going to continue to hurt the macro side of things as the globe continues to adopt it, whether it's CBDCs, XRP backing digital and bank currencies, and all these other major things that have been occurring outside the US, regardless of the US's pushback on crypto, becomes inherently more interesting. And then the biggest catalyst that I'm hyper focused on it is the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And that to me is something that right now is already shaping up to show a shift in global powers economically and trade. You're now seeing India settle global trade in the rupee. You're now seeing 45 additional countries apply for the BRICS, and there's summits coming up, I believe, at the end of the month. And that to me is like the most interesting thing, because where the US and the GDP has been largely like a dominant factor right now, that is a little bit interesting to me, because we're now seeing so many other countries want to settle trade in their local currencies that are focused on the BRICS, which can affect the US dollar, decoupling of US equities from crypto, which many people say, like, when do you think US equities will decouple from crypto? Look at the chart. It already has. We're pushing all-time highs on the S&P and the NASDAQ, and crypto's been in this choppy range, 50% off peaks. So to me, this decoupling has already happened. And as more of a global shift happens from economics and trade, with specifically the BRICS, who are also adopting cryptocurrency in much of South America, much of the Eastern world, how does that not start to correlate where crypto becomes more aligned with these international markets versus the US market?
Love the take. Signal.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask then. Okay, so that's the macro side of things, and I like that chart. As somebody who doesn't do TA, it's sort of making it like the dummies, the dummies guide to technical analysis on crypto on BTC. We know where Pio's putting his cash. Like, that's obvious.
I'm putting it in Dogecoin. I'm putting it in Dogecoin, and
you might as well. I'm underexposed.
I'll talk about that, but go ahead, Sig.
No, so I wanted to ask Ethan. So, like, what does your crypto portfolio look like when you see a chart like that? How you, how does your allocations to different coins look like going forward? And
I
also to
actually
NFTs
shared my
as well?
DCA yesterday for the first time in a while. I shared my full DCA breakdown of what I'm doing. And I know Pio will hate me because it's not as much Bitcoin exposure as it probably should be, but I'm way more exposed to alts, actually. I think alts are going to rally much, much harder in the typical cycle. Like, I think the larger exposure coins like ETH and BTC are a little bit slower movers because they've already had these blow off cycle tops. My heaviest allocation is Solana, followed closely by AVAX. And then I have Bitcoin, ETH, and then HBAR are my like top 5 coins that I'm DCAing into. And right now I'm DCAing daily. The only time, like, my rules right now are I don't DCA on over a 7% move. So if any of those coins have greater than a 7% gain, I'm not buying in that day. Any red day, I'm buying in at 1.5x my traditional buy-in. So red days, I'm actually buying heavier. Green days under 7%, I'm buying flat rate. And then over that, I'm buying 1.5 on those red days, and not buying anything that's over a 7% move on a day. So really aggressive DCA right now, like really aggressive. I have been since May, I want to say end of May, start of June. I started really DCAing again. FTX was when I actually started DCAing it really aggressively, but I sold a lot of those bags in February because I was really long on like FTM and some of these other alts that ended up printing me like 2-3x's off the lows. I've held the Solana bags all the way through, where I've been more interested in that just because I think the longer like cycle of that becomes interesting. Like, you even, like, what's crazy to me is you even have like Bankless and some of these other ones openly saying that they're now comfortable talking about Solana, which I never thought would happen because they used to just torch Solana. And now they're like, it's clear this is part of the big 3. Like, that's the thing. It's pretty clear that this is part of the big 3 with Bitcoin and ETH.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised on Friday when Raul said that Solana was part of his bag, because I listen to you guys so much. I'm like, am I just being indoctrinated by Easy, Nick, and Pio on their buys? So to hear that he's also accumulating a bag there, I've been accumulating a bag as well, just to have it sort of tucked away. Haven't aggressively gone into alts as much, but I mean, Pio, why are you looking at Dogecoin so much?
Yeah, so I'm also looking at Solana. Solana's just a good chain. If you start buying and selling NFTs on the chain and building on the chain, it's just a good chain. And it's better for NFTs than Ethereum. I know people are going to like spaz out when they hear that, but you just go onto the marketplace with Solana, you click buy. It goes, you sure you want to buy it? You're like, yeah. You click buy, boom. Instant transaction, no gas. It's just good. And like, as we develop more mechanics and stuff for Bodogos, we would never be able to do it on Ethereum layer 1. It's completely impossible. And I know the art crowd is going to say they want to do Ethereum, and it's more appropriate for art, and I totally get it. Cool, sounds great. But the future of NFTs when it comes to mainstream adoption isn't the audience that collects physical Picassos. Sorry to let you guys know, but at the end of the day, there's not that many people that collect physical Picassos in the world, just like there won't be that many people that buy $150,000 Fidenzas in the world. It's still going to exist, but most people are going to be engaging with NFTs either for like real life stuff like ticketing and stuff like that, or to do fun, interactive, software-based platforms, whether that's a full-on video game or some sort of gamified experience. And so that's why I accumulate Solana, because it is legit. It sold off way too heavy during the FTX debacle because people basically associated it with FTX. They treated it like Sam Bankman-Fried's scam shitcoin, which it obviously is not. I mean, the guy was literally selling it from his mom's house as soon as he touched down in the United States when he came here from the Bahamas. So it has gone through its trials and tribulations. But when I went to the Breakpoint conference last week, it was like the best crypto conference I've ever been to. Super legit, super above board. We're going there later this year, Amsterdam, with the Bodogos event, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm anticipating it'll be even more legit. So that's the Solana thesis. The Dogecoin thesis is, I have a bunch of Bitcoin that I've been accumulating for years, and I still buy Bitcoin. But I now have one exchange that I only buy stuff in that I want to sell. And so in the past couple of months, I've accumulated another 0.7 Bitcoin. And I had a moment where I was like, okay, but wait, I'm planning on selling stuff that's in this particular portfolio. I have it separated, so I have mental clarity, even when the prices are pumping, that you have to sell this stuff because I have so much exposure in self-custodied Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., in other places that I need to have an allocation that I'm going to sell. So I said, well, you got 0.7 Bitcoin right here. You've racked up in the past 2.5 months. Let's rack up some other stuff. So I racked up 10 ETH in there. So that's 10 ETH that's going to sell. So then I was like, well, what else am I going to do? And I was like, I'm underexposed as hell to Solana. And then in the past few weeks, talking to Raul Paul, talking to Kaleo, listening to Easy when Easy came back from Nashville, remembering what happened last bull run, is you have to put yourself in the mind of the people that are going to FOMO in and buy the top. That's the biggest thing in my mind. If you're buying something to sell it later, which is rare for me, that's not how I operate. I don't buy stuff to sell it later. I buy stuff to hold forever. But the majority of people listening, I do believe, based on what I've seen, buy stuff to sell later. That's what I think happens. So if you're going to buy stuff with the intention of selling it later, you got to think of who's going to come in and buy the top. And the people that come in and buy the top are buying Dogecoin. And then I think the other one, when I listen to OSF and Mando, I think Pepe could be this next cycle's SHIB or whatever, where people are like, no, Pepe, it's the internet meme, it's the thing. It's so that I bought a half ETH of Pepe. Look, I'm dipping my toe in Pepe. I cannot ape into Pepe like that. But I got $2,000 of Doge, and I'm trying to rack it up to $10,000 of Doge because it's at 7 cents. And if it 10x's from here, which if you look at the history of Doge, quite frankly, is not that hard to do, because when humans like to own a bunch of something, like my boss at my last job was like, I've got 1 million SHIB. So if it goes to 1 cent, then I'll be a millionaire, something like that off of SHIB. People think that way. And so if Dogecoin 10x's from here to 69 cents, which feels like it's programmed, baby, that feels like a meme, and I got 10 grand in it, sub 7 cents, then I got 100 grand on the other side just off of Doge. And then Solana is even different, because I'm just trying to rack up a ton of Solana. I don't even have a target amount. Call it 25K minimum of Solana to rack up, maybe even closer to 30 or 35. That's a different conversation. But keep in mind, there's way more risk with all these alts, and Bitcoin's the type of thing that you can just accumulate and hold forever. It's risky selling Bitcoin, even if you sell it at the top, because there's a situation where in 5 years you could have less Bitcoin than you have now, and then you're going to really feel like a dipshit. But yeah, that's my whole breakdown of why I'm accumulating Dogecoin. I want to have 10K Dogecoin as soon as possible. And I want to, rack up a ton of Solana too. But that's the way I'm thinking about it. I don't know if you guys have any, if I'm out to lunch on
Dogecoin
that.
play is like the most left curve play in a good way. Like you middle curving it is saying like, oh, this makes like, who would buy this? Right curving it is saying, this is the meme coin of the people. Left curving it is, oh, I go on Robinhood, I press buy, I get Doge, yay. And that's like kind of the sentiment around it. Every time I do these street interviews, everyone's response is Dogecoin. Every single person. It's never changed. It's the one token that they're excited to yell and talk about and be like, I know a crypto. It's Doge. This is sick. And you're just sitting there like, damn, I'm so underexposed to Doge. It happened when I went up to Disney. It just happened in Nashville. I'm sure it'll happen again the next time I do these. And it's every time I just sit there and I'm like, I'm underexposed to Doge. No matter how much Doge I have, it's the only one that people say. And even when people are like, I don't know another crypto, and you say the word Dogecoin, they're like, oh yeah, I know
that
like,
one.
They're familiar with it. And that's the thing. Like you say besides Bitcoin, because everyone does know Bitcoin. Like when you say crypto, most people just say Bitcoin. But when you say besides Bitcoin, they're like lost. And then you say Dogecoin and they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is.
They don't want to buy Bitcoin though. They don't want to buy Bitcoin because number too big. I missed it. Number too big.
So the other thing is people don't understand that you can buy a fraction of these things. Like that's a complete
number too
anomaly.
big.
Complete anomaly. But I can go buy five Dogecoin for 30 cents. And if this goes to $100, I got $500. And that's truly the mindset of what it is. Like same with Pepe. You can buy 1 million Pepe and feel like a Pepe millionaire. And that's where people get excited because big number. People like big number. And the most core caveman-esque mentality is, ooh, big number, good.
Well, exactly. And so we had somebody on the Bitcoin show yesterday. I'm forgetting her name. It's terrible. But anyway, she's from the TradFi world. She was a managing director at Morgan Stanley, and now she's building a Bitcoin-based DeFi platform. And when I asked her what her traditional finance colleagues, her former colleagues from TradFi thought of the fact that she's left TradFi and is now building a startup on Bitcoin, she's like, one quote that stuck out to me. She was like, well, there's 3 buckets. And she was like, in one of the buckets, she was like, well, they won't research it, not even for an hour. And I was like, that's so accurate. Literally won't research it even for an hour. So the people that are buying Doge and the people that will, again, probably buy Pepe, I don't want to like draw a line in the sand and say that, but I'm taking a flyer on it. OSF and Mando got me wanting to buy Pepe is the reality of it. The fact that they're going that hard on Pepe. And then when I hear him talk about it, I'm like, probably right, because it's just like, it's like SHIB and it's like Doge. So I'm like, cool, I'll make the safe meme coin bet with Doge, and I'm a half ETH in on Pepe, and it'll probably become 2 or 3 ETH when it's all said and done, because I think we kind of have the rest of this year to accumulate this stuff. Look at this, OSF. I spent the last 2 months DCAing Pepe, and I reached my goal of 1 trillion tokens. Out of his mind. I mean, we'll see what happens. But anyway, someone, Biggs, who used to own a happy ending massage parlor, fun fact, said, what about ApeCoin? And my answer is, what about ApeCoin? Go tell a normie it's the Bored Ape coin. They're going to be like, okay.
The only people who care about ApeCoin is Animoca. And that's definitely a bag bias. Like, they care greatly about it because they have to. They have massive holdings in it and now need to figure out how to justify it and potentially find long-term exit liquidity. But dude, ApeCoin, I think if anything, it just becomes an in-game currency for whatever ApeCoin builds, and that's it.
It's not going to go 100x or like it will never be able to compete with Pepe in price action if Pepe does what we're speculating it does. And quite frankly, even a 10, well, I guess a 10x is possible. So if I'm like looking at Doge for a 10x, then I suppose an ApeCoin 10x is possible. The market for ApeCoin ApeCoin is a legitimate thing in the sense that it is, you know, the native token of $1 billion video game startup and NFT collectibles enterprise, ecosystem. So it's a legitimate thing. But in crypto, that's a problem. You look at Sproto, Gremlins, and Miladies, and you're just appealing to this one subset of the crypto market with no real function, no business. And people are like, perfect. That's what we want. And that's what Pepe is. And I mean, Doge is not necessarily that, because I think Elon's going to integrate it into X. but
Well,
it still has that meme
We
stuff.
don't know if he's going to integrate it into X. That's the only thing. But the one thing that Raul said on Friday that really stuck out was when he was saying that he can't receive his impressions. So the impressions that content creators are getting paid for, he can't receive it where he is because it's done via Stripe. And then just thinking about like Elon Musk and his future of wanting to have an app which is essentially or like one app to rule them all, and it won't be able to be done off the current financial system. Just like if you can't use Stripe to get the money over to someone in the Cayman Islands, then it has to be done probably on crypto rails. But what coin that is, I mean, it could be Doge, it could be potentially a coin that will come out of X themselves. They could probably do something new, not sure about that. But taking a bet or having a small bag of Doge, or what were you were saying, Pio Pepe, definitely makes sense. I don't know how hard I'll go into it, but it's definitely like, I feel like it's definitely worth having a little bit just sitting on the side, so you're not buying into Solana like at $200, having missed that run up like what happened last time. Because that's how I felt about Solana, like seeing it, like you're in the space, you're seeing this coin that you hear about every single day go up to $250, and you're just sitting there like a numpty with like nothing to DCA out of on the way up. So yeah, I'm getting a little bag on the side as well.
Fair take. Don't feel too bad. My friend from high school, I was the best man at his wedding. He invested in the Nifty. He accumulated a bunch of a bunch of Solana, like under $2 throughout, I want to say 2020, and sold it for like $7 and thought he was a genius. And then it ran to like, what was the high for Solana easy?
$262 right around there.
Man, come on, man. Come on, amigo. Oh, it's tough, man. Real quick, people are fading Doge in the comments. Fair. Hey, look, I mean, what? You can't be like, nah, dude, it's programmed. But I do think it's something that normies will view as the safe crypto because they remember it from the previous cycle and they know people talked about Doge, so it's kind of easy for them to ape in. It's also on Robinhood, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget, having a really accessible mainstream way to accumulate this stuff, it's a thing. I'm just pointing it out. It's a thing. Someone said buy and stack ETH. It's that simple. Duh. And that's the Bitcoin approach too.
I think ETH is going to have a wild run though. Like one that's going to make this last one look weak just because like I look at Base, which I think Base is going to be a direct Polygon basically competitor in regards to like onboarding a wide audience. And there isn't a Base token. It uses ETH that you have to bridge over. So like that inherently makes ETH even more added commodity for when it comes to people that want to use Base. Yeah. That's something.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please go ahead.
No, it's good. You're here. You kicked the door in and stepped right in and said, I'm
here.
just
listening to this fucking garbage. Clemente is over texting me because he can't get the NFT live because he's fucking it up yet again. I'm trying to fix it over here. And I'm getting pissed off. They keep messing up the NFT drop. I'm dropping something else. I'm dropping a t-shirt because I'm getting fucking pissed off about them, about PO sucks. So there's a new line dropping. It's a clothing line. It's a new brand. It's going to be an addition. I'm 10 of them that I'm selling right now because the PO sucks. And
you're dropping a PO sucks clothing line.
That's what's happening right now. So if you go to shop.thenifty.com, there's 10 of them. There's 10 shirts right now.
Pull it up.
I don't even think I
Clemente,
can do it.
Pull it up.
Clemente shit is broken.
I made
the PO sucks.
Wait a minute. Let me see this. Click on it, Clemente.
Legitimately, you can go buy it.
Genesis edition.
There's 10 of them.
Nice touch. Why didn't you put PO sucks in all caps?
It's on the back.
The title?
Click on the back. PO sucks.
I don't think you're gonna sell these out, amigo.
There's 10 of them. So if I can't get 10 people to buy a PO sucks t-shirt, then this shit ain't like, it's not even worth it. But that's what I'm trying to do.
Look at the stats. 100% organic ring spun cotton. Very nice fabric. Oh, 5 ounce.
Hold on. I should update that description. So it's actually, Pio and Clemente.
Did you just like delete? Did you just take Danilo's artwork here, his brilliant artwork, and did you just like use the magic eraser tool in Photoshop to take out the back of it?
They can't figure out how to drop NFTs, so I'm dropping this. Hot fire. Hold on. I've updated.
Fired.
Refresh the page.
Someone said they're sweeping the t-shirts. How many are, wait, does it show the count?
It doesn't show the count. People actually bought it. Wow. 4 of them sold. So there's 6 left.
I don't approve of this, ladies and gentlemen. I do not approve
There's
of
3
the Genesis
small,
edition.
2 medium left, 1 large, and 2
What do you mean?
XL.
There's limited sizing.
I'm just telling you how many are left. It seems people buy XL. They don't like small. So maybe I change it. Maybe I add large and I get rid of it. But there's 10 of them.
Size specific supply is interesting.
The URL is shop.thenifty.com. Okay? I'm getting tired of this bullshit.
Will there be more items in this line?
Well, the large sold out. There's 1 more XL left. I don't know. Maybe
Someone's like, link? Like someone's like ready to buy it. Shop.thenifty.com.
All right. Well, I'm going to actually, it looks like I need to edit this because people like large. So I'm gonna add large and remove small. So I'm adding 2 more large, and I'm reducing the small down to 1, and there we go.
Nick K is paying in 4 installments. He's taking out a line of credit to buy this shirt for $30.
There's no more XL. There's 2 more large. There's 1 small, and there's 1 medium. There you go. That's
You sold 6?
What's that?
You sold 6 so far? I'm impressed.
I don't know how many. Yeah, I guess I sold 6. Yeah.
Nick's sense of humor is what
Well, I
happens when
sold
he
7.
chooses
There's
not
3
to.
more left. There's 1 small and 2 large. So there you go.
I don't understand the size-based supply. That's what I don't understand. You know what I mean? But other than that, this is interesting. I didn't expect the PO Sucks Genesis Edition shirt to launch during the show today, but cool to see
There's
it.
only 1. So there's 1 small left. No one's buying small. I thought those would be. No one ever buys
It's
this.
because you're a size small.
No, everyone just sits in front of the everyone sits in front of their computers. But dude, the majority of the space sits in front of the computers, doesn't exercise.
All right,
here's
now there's no small. Okay, well, it's sold out.
Done.
Wow.
Nick,
Congratulations,
did you buy the last
dickhead.
small for yourself?
Yeah, you bought it for yourself.
Small. I did buy 1 small to see if the site worked.
Tiny man.
I tried it out. Hold on. Now I got to figure out what's going on with
Small guy.
with frickin' Clemente's
Popcat said go to the gym.
site. Give me 1 second.
Are you happy now, Nick?
So, well, PO Sucks is flying off the shelves. So that's what literally just happened. We sold out the first installment. PO Sucks is the future of this business. Okay.
We had also for next time, Nick, let me be frank.e asked for a double XL, which is
Dude, and by the way, so they did have those options. I didn't realize that. So I will add that next time. But look, here's the deal. I just made $100. Okay. So that's the we got a big business here.
It's a big business. Well, I actually learned about the double XL stuff because we gave away clothes, not our clothes, but clothes by a different brand at our event last year. And guys that worked for us who were not much bigger than me were like, do you have like a 2 or a 3XL? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're a large, bro. Like, they're like, no, I wear like 2 or 3XL. I was like, who are you kidding? You're not that big, amigo. You're not a 2 or a 3XL. What are you talking about? Ellie.jpg said it sold out as he was about to buy it. Sorry to hear that. I guess we'll have to do a different. I'm going to launch my own line of stuff against Nick. I'm not telling anybody what it's called, but expect Nick-based collectibles soon. And obviously expect legitimate, authentic Bodoggos
Clemente,
merch.
if you can respond to my text messages so I can fix your fuck-ups, that'd be great.
I didn't get a single message from you.
It's because you got this random Google iCloud fucking email. How about send me a Slack message?
I hope you guys can figure this out.
You literally can't figure this shit out. And every time you touch this site, it breaks it. Yet every time I touch it, it just drops.
I've never broken
fire.
it once. It's only me and Nick in the lab just chefing up. It works perfectly. I don't know what Clemente is doing.
Coach said, don't dilute the Genesis collection. But guys, enough. It's t-shirts, okay? Please don't like get in my face about the supply of the PO Sucks collectibles line and the subsequent line I'm
Diesel's
launching
idea.
against Nick.
Can we get a Nick Rocks shirt? I'm a big fan of
No.
Nick. Nick's a good
No.
guy. Just
No.
really doing Nick stuff, man.
Nick does not rock. All right. Well, anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about before this. Nick?
Dude, I mean, I'm on the site right now. It just says sold out, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. But the other thing I was going to say is, like, can we get back to talking about DeGods?
That's what you want to talk about?
Clemente just asked me, did I delete the drop? Bro, the site doesn't work. You fucked the whole thing up, so I'm undoing all of your errors that you've made over the past couple of days here, and I'm fixing the problem, okay? So let me first resolve the issue. My apologies. I don't want to do this live.
Someone said that this line of clothing, the PO Sucks line of clothing, has a better future than Bitcoin. I fundamentally disagree with that. Frame it with the back turns. You guys are too much. Anyway, super plastic collectible Tommy DeAndrade. Come on now. All right. Well, while you guys figure out I'm
gonna leave and go and figure this out, and you guys keep talking for a minute while I fix Clemente's errors. First, he causes me to launch a clothing line in coordination with you, being like you two as a duo here have messed everything up. But I'm gonna go fix it. Okay. That's what
there you go. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, in just a little bit, we're going to have a free NFT by very talented artist, spotlight collaborative artist, Jesse Smith. Jesse is a tattoo artist of 25 years, best known for his features on Paramount's, well, not best known, but known for a feature on Paramount's Ink Master TV series. This is the second time being featured on our artist spotlight series. We couldn't be more excited about it.
The art on this is freaking sick, dude, by the way. I'm like trying to make this thing work, and I found the issue. Okay, so I'll be right back.
Let's go.
Nick's a magician. Anyway, yeah, you're gonna want to follow Jesse and his brand Signal. Signal's frozen. Are you there?
Carcase is the drop.
Carcase, baby. To learn more about the upcoming Explorers drop on August 23rd on Crypto.com. And if you are an artist, you can apply to be featured on the Artist Spotlight series at thenifty.com/artist. Clemente should have a tweet pinned to the top. That is not something that you have to pay for. That is not sponsored. That is us wanting to show love to artists in the space, give them a platform, and hopefully drive people to a drop or something. Maybe it's a t-shirt line that has my first name and then the word sucks after it that they want to promote. So look, while Nick's getting everything set up for this Jesse Smith free NFT drop, are these NFTs the next ones primed for a run? While collections like Captain Suzuki and DeGods have experienced pullbacks recently in the last 60 days, the following collections have remained steady despite market conditions. Are any of these appealing to you? We got Heavy Metal up 55% to 0.8 Ethereum as season 3 of the game begins. Got Nakamigos up 15% to 0.3 Ethereum, almost 1 month until fall. And I guess fall is allegedly going to be big for Nakamigos. I don't know. Is that
fall's
okay?
Coming. Yep, fall's coming.
Fall's coming. And then we got Wreck Guy up 25% to 0.65 ETH. We got Pudgy Penguins holding steady at 4 Ethereum despite all similar projects collapsing. And we got Vessels at 0.17 ETH. Legends of Mara is supposed to be released by the end of the summer. What do we think? What do we think about these? Heavy Metal, Nakamigos, Wreck Guy, Pudgy Penguins, and Other Side Vessels.
Heavy Metals, Nakamigos, Wreck League? Or did you say
Wreck Guy.
All right, so Heavy Metals, I'm a buyer. Nakamigos, I'm a pass. Wreck Guy, I'm a buyer. Pudgy Penguins, I'm a buyer. What else we got in there?
Vessels at 0.17, which
absolute buyer. Home run.
Yeah, I have like 6 or 7 of those that I bought for around this price. Yeah, okay.
I need more other deeds is what I need. That's the goal. I have 3 of each and then 2 of the floor ones. Yeah, I think I'm like Vessels, basically all Yuga game assets right now. I'm sitting here. I'm like, I want more exposure to this because Heavy Metal just has trended up. Like, look at that chart. It's just been a slow and steady grind up from 0.4 all the way up to 0.71 now. And with these next rollouts and iterations, I think that continues. Would it shock me if Heavy Metal hit an ETH? Not at all. Which, honestly, give me like 0.85. and then I'm content selling around there. Go ahead.
What do you think went into this run? I mean, they did dump pretty hard prior to this, but they're up 40% in just the last 7 days. Heavy metal, they're at 0.8. From what I saw on Twitter, it was basically people saying, "Hey, this game is too boring." The only explanation I got was that basically people are stacking more heavy metal so they can place further up in the game, but there's not a lot of like new entrants buying and playing this game right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I don't really mind the new entrant side of things. I think the bigger thing here is over time, you're going to see, yeah, the whale owns 800 and keeps sweeping is like a big part of this. So it isn't new participants, but I think the new game mechanics, like once the dungeon crawler launches, you're going to have people more interested that this game isn't boring and then being like, shit, I wish I didn't sell and fade this, because now you actually have a fun, enjoyable game. You also have Legends of Mara dropping, which is where the vessels come into play. I think over a long enough time horizon, Pudgy's obviously, Wreck Guy, clear play. Nakamigos, I could not care less what they're doing in the fall, personally. So like, I'm just content.
Oh, you just sent Nakamigos to 1 ETH easy. You know, when you come in with the FUD, these collections, you just see it on the activity timeline. You just see several.
And they're all going to tag me. They're all going to yell at me that I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm not here for the culture. What I do want is a Sproto Gremlin. Them things are going to 2.5, baby. They're not stopping. Milady's going to 5.5. Sproto's going over 2. Bitcoin's going to $1, and not the one Pio's buying.
Okay, on that list, I would say, look, I hold Wreck Guy. I really like Wreck Guy at 0.65. I wouldn't buy in just because it can retrace quite hard. I would accumulate and then I would buy more. And Pudgies have also felt the brunt of things. Clemente said that the rest of the mid caps have collapsed, that Pudgies haven't. Pudgies have collapsed as well. They were like 5.5 earlier this year, so they're down to 4. But I think out of all the mid chips, they're the ones which are most stable, are executing. You can see the demand for their toys and their collectibles are consistent, you know, whether it's left facing, right facing collectible, it gets snapped up at $250. So what Luca and a team are doing there is working. So I would say it's expensive, but I would continue to buy Pudgies. And Wreck Guy, I would wait for a pullback and I would continue to buy there. Mando and OSF doing extremely well, building in the space. People like the collection. It captures the zeitgeist of the moment. Continue in this bear market as we are. People getting wrecked, whether we're going down, whether we're going up. So I really like the collection. Staying away from the gaming assets just because don't have my finger on the pulse of heavy metal. I haven't really played it. I would probably be more likely to be on vessels just because Legends of Mara is coming up, and that is the most interesting game. I think heavy metal for me was a bit of a disappointment with all the cleaning. It just doesn't appeal to me. Cleaning, I do that enough in my life. I don't want to start cleaning oil as well. So for me, it's the vessels, the Pudgies, and the Wreck Guy.
When people like Spencer were tweeting about the cleaning part of the heavy metal game, that I at first I didn't even believe that it was real, right? It was pretty funny. So anyway, look, before we launch Jesse Smith's free NFT at thenifty.com, we should quickly touch on DeGods. I know Nick was like joking, like, should we talk about DeGods? Because it's been the talk of the space for weeks now, and especially over the past 3-4 business days. But what happened with Machi Big Brother Easy, and what was all that about?
Yeah, so Machi ended up with 328 DeGods, I believe, off of bids, trade sniping, floor bids, etc. Frank and him ended up on a space talking through it. Frank asked nicely, please don't floor these, and said, let's get on a call and talk through some things. They did end up speaking. Looks like, obviously, there was not a deal made, basically saying, like, we didn't agree to anything. Nothing happened. This is just where we're at. This is how I feel about it. And, yeah, I think Frank openly said, like, please don't floor them, and has made some public tweets basically asking not to have the wrath of the floor get crumbled on, quote, something that he loves. I had a good conversation on Thread Guys Space yesterday where I basically said, like, I would not have engaged in the conversation. Like, you almost have to just let this play out, let the whale dump. And what's going to happen is you're going to have people who are eager and excited to get into the project, buy at prices they can finally afford. Now you have people who are actually excited to rock with you versus a whale just having this like stranglehold on you where you're just coming to their asks. Machi specifically asked him too, how much ape coin do you have? Because I guess he has an AIP going up. Frank said none yet. Let's talk. So that had a lot of people worried that Frank was going to go out and buy ApeCoin to appease Machi. Seems like that may not have happened. But I don't know, man. I just wasn't a fan of it. I was like, me personally, I would have just told him to floor it. Like, make it happen. Let's get this done sooner than later and call it a damn day.
Machi's still absorbing the entire floor. He's bought like a bunch more just in the past half hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's buying them
8,
now?
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 in the past 30 minutes. And so when you talk about a stranglehold, the fact that Frank even spoke with him publicly is probably one of the most bearish components of
Then
this.
they also had a private call. Frank said that they had a 90-minute private call too.
Well,
So he's like openly shared it all.
Okay, but the bottom line is like it's not like when Machi buys 100 apes, it's not like the team over there is like figuring out what they need to do strategically to absorb this situation, whereas Frank's now like basically working for Machi is what that
He's up to 346 DeGods at the current moment.
A lot. That's a lot.
1,418 ETH at current price, including a variety of super rare DeGods, which are the double armor traits, which he said he wants to keep those.
I like, look, at least it's fun and interesting, and it shows the mechanics that are possible in this space. No one can stop Machi from buying these things on the secondary market. It's interesting. It's juicy. Clemente, can you pull up the link that I just shared? So I was surprised to see this for sure. Even maybe more surprised than the actual launch of the PO Sucks Genesis collection, as they're calling it. There's already a secondary market for the product. Someone has listed it for $5,000 on eBay.
No one's paying that much for that shirt, dude. Oh my God.
Who did this? Abron444? Get out of here, Abron.
100% positive feedback.
Abron's a whale, bro. No, this is
seller.
Abron's the man. He holds a bunch of dogs, holds a bunch of stuff. This is he's hyperactive in the community. Glad he hit one. Glad he's selling it for $5,000. I hope you make that sale, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna pump that Nick merch up, baby.
Well, hopefully you sweep the bodagas. If someone buys that for $5,000, you better buy a bunch of bodagas. That's the bottom line there. I can't imagine someone paying more than $50 for that t-shirt there. So
wow, you're undermining your own clothing line. I thought you were the next Jerry Lorenzo. I'm pretty surprised that that you're just gonna see Nick with a sewing machine soon, and he's just gonna sit down with an interview. He's gonna have red tinted big glasses on, and he's just gonna be like, the process is my favorite part. If it wasn't for the process of making the product, then I wouldn't be involved, and only my hands are able to curate the materials that are necessary for this stuff. I'm excited to see Nick as a fashion designer. I already, since you launched this stupid shirt, I'm in talks with some people about a merch product that I'm going to make in my Nick line that I'm not going to disclose the title of yet. So you can keep your eyes open for that, buddy. Are we ready to launch the free NFT for today?
Well, Clemente, did you make the drop?
I need just a minute and 30 seconds.
Well,
okay.
and I have a site deploying. It takes long for the site to deploy. It takes.
Where do you guys become DeGod or Utes buyers is the real question.
Well, I should have bought Utes under 1.
They are still under 1.
Yeah, go crazy right now, Chief. If you want to go deploy some capital, big dog. Got all the time in the world right now.
What are they now? 0.9.
How low? Easy. How low? They were like 0.9. Easy. How? Okay, considering we know Machi holds over 300, how low do you? And there are loans underwater on the collection as well. What's your target? 3.33, which would put Utes at
0.4. I think Utes fall way harder, like significantly harder, because now you're in this like when you have a perfect storm, right? Now you're in a category 4 hurricane is what's going on right now. That's approaching land at an alarming rate, much faster than you've ever seen. And what's going to happen is shit's going to go flying. Storms is brewing. And the thing is, you have 348 that can attack the floor right now and cause serious downward pressure. You have over 100 loans underwater. Do I think Machi just absolutely destroys the floor? No. So what now the focus is going to be on is all DeGods focus. We've already heard DeGod Season 3 is the focus. Utes, stay calm, stay vigilant, stay active. We'll take care of you eventually, but we haven't shipped anything yet. That's openly been said. No plans for Utes in Season 3. So now no points from Utes can even be used. So everything is heavily focused on DeGods with no direct plan right now for Utes. So you're seeing the pros of a wider ecosystem because now you have more people supporting the brand, but now you're also seeing the negatives of a wider ecosystem. You now have to please significantly more people, which becomes inherently more difficult. And when you can't, those that are left out and ostracized see much more negative price action. Yeah, and can you imagine what would happen if we didn't have Machi liquidity? Honestly, I don't think DeGods would be selling as hard because now what's happening is a lot of people are selling off in anticipation of Machi's dump. Like everyone's trying to front run the inevitable dump that they know is coming and the underwater blur loans. So basically, people are just speed running out of this to not risk losing even more. You saw a few whales yesterday who had picked up and were actually tweeting how much they were up going into season 3. We think theirs last night. There's just a lot of negative sell pressure right now where I think 3.33 is the big mental number because DeGods 3.33 has always been like their number, that 33.3% paper and bitch tax. And you have a lot of people that are like, that's where I'm a buyer. You also have Soul Big Brain who put in 100 bids at 3 or 111 bids at 3 ETH. So he's basically propping up a potential floor at 3. So if I can front run that a little bit at the 3.33 mental number, I'm comfortable doing so. But I think Utes are a much bigger risk here versus potential upside. I'm looking for like a 3.33 buy and sell over 4.5. Like looking for an ETH swing here. Not a home run play. Base hits add up. Base hits score runs too. But like I said, you got this category 4 hurricane that's speed running towards land at the moment with
You're
Machi.
talking about hurricanes and playing baseball at the same time, and that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So like,
you ever played baseball in a hurricane?
A bunch of noise. Next thing is I'm launching an Easy's full talking nonsense t-shirt line. Okay, that's what's happening next. Is
that catchy? Easy talking nonsense. 6 syllables. Is that catchy?
Way too much.
It's a big brand brewing here. Okay.
I'm dropping Nick Can't Code on a hat.
Oh, Nick Can't Code.
Nick Can't Code. Asshole hat. Dad hat.
Code. That's
5
a good
copies.
hat.
Dropping tomorrow. Except we're repping the price. This is a luxury brand. $1,100 a hat. Don't ask questions.
$1,100. There's no one fucking buying that thing.
And this is going to be the logo on that.
Yeah, no, that's on the back of the hat. That's above the little strap. That's the tag on the back.
Wait, actually, could I just take that seahorse, slap it on a hat, and then resell it and try and recuperate the losses?
If you put Nick Can't Code on it somewhere, then maybe.
You're not front running my hat. Nick Can't Code hats dropping soon. You'll get the link. No, stay tuned.
I'm not abandoning my brand. I really like Nick Can't Code though, so I think that you should move forward with the Nick Can't Code brand. But my brand, all right, fine. If we're talking about brands, no. I'm not even going to mention my brand. I'm just going to make the product, and the market's going to decide whether they're interested in the product. But Nick Can't Code's pretty good for sure.
I think the site is live and the drop is ready. Clemente.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to be clear about what happened during this show. I built a Shopify site from scratch, launched it, and sold a product on it, and now we'll fix the bug with the website.
Nick can't code,
but apparently I can't code.
Hat's going live in 10 minutes.
Clemente,
it works. Let's go, Nick. Way to go. What a time. Go to the nifty.com/claim and enter the password Explorer, EXPLORER, to claim today's free NFT. Shout out to Jesse Smith, the artist of today's drop. We got the Angler King of the North.
Drop is fire. People in the Discord talking about how fire the art is. No surprise. Love it.
This art is so sick.
Yeah, so let's read the blurb, read the copy. We got, throughout our many journeys to Carcaeus, Jason, Stefan, and I have been studying the Angler Kings for quite some time. So as far as we could tell, there are only 2 of them in the entirety of the Creotic Sea. One is located north near Jesse, you kill. I love I love the names.
Although it's probably some other language, so it's like Rocklesh.
Yeah, something like that. And the other is down south toward Fairchet's Island east. These 2 Angler Kings control all light within the Creotic Sea. This means that if any deep sea creatures wish to reignite their wicks, they must deal with one of the 2 Angler kings. The monopoly on the light creates a situation where the light-reliant deep-sea creatures become the slaves of these two angler kings. Dope drop, dope copy. People are commenting. Mirza said, damn, this art is fire in all caps. Super, super dope. Love this artwork. Love anytime we get to partner with talented artists for artist spotlight drops at thenifty.com. Anyway, that's our show.
Real quick, I'm just surprised by the lack of how much you pride yourself in pronouncing things. You've been very not living up to expectations on any of the pronunciations today. Just want to point that out.
I'm good at pronouncing names from other cultures in the modern world.
And every other word is like emphasized. And today we got this other thing. And we also got this other story coming. And DeGods is this other thing. I'm so excited about that situation because this other thing is going on. That's how I speak. And normally when I have a conversation with Pio, that's how he sounds.
Your drop the supply just went up by 10x. I'm about to be moving units in the drop that I'm putting out there. It's just going to get worse and worse. I got all this branded material.
Here's a sponsor.
You sound like John Travolta in Grease. I mean, like, good God. Anyway, someone said I got a voice for radio. People say I got a face for radio, which I think is a better one right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Take this guy off the screen. Get this bozo out of here. I'm broadcasting over here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you for listening. We will be back tomorrow. Would you prefer that I host the show this way, Nick? Do you think that the audience prefers?
I just think if you speak in a normal way, the way that you're like, hey, so I think y'all should sign up at the newsletter. Maybe, like, I don't really care.
Hey, everybody,
give it a go.
Hope you enjoyed the show today. I'm going to go and get like a breakfast burrito at my favorite place, Santa Fe BK in North Williamsburg. And I'm going to walk my dog while I'm doing it and tune into the call. This is how you host a radio show. No, that's not how you host a radio show, ladies and gentlemen. The way that you host a radio show is you send it every single time that you're on the mic. Shout out to Jesse Smith, today's artist spotlight NFT provider. We love collabs with artists. They're incredibly talented artists in this space that don't get the love that they deserve. And we know who they are. We want to showcase them. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm launching a merch line to compete with Nick's P.O. Sucks merch line that I don't approve of. Big shout out to everybody on the panel today. Nick, Easy Signal, of course, Clemente, producer extraordinaire. We'll be back. Subscribe to the YouTube.
Printful saying my profit is negative $30.
What do you mean? How?
I don't
did you lose
understand.
money on it?
I don't understand. It says I have no idea what the hell happened here. Oh, it's because I owe them money probably for these for these purchases. Why is the cost $30? I don't understand what the hell is going on here. Well,
just wait till you see these Nick Can't Code hats, dude. We got the seahorse on the back.
Wait until nobody gets their product.
Just wait.
No, people are getting their products. It's not Artifact where you don't get the shoes. This is the real shit. You're going to get the product. Someone said, better drop that Bodago's merch. Of course, there's going to be Bodago's merch. We've been doing a lot of product research on this because we want to make sure it's really good stuff. In the meantime, I am going to drop a line of stuff that's just anti-Nick. And I'm hoping that I get the same support that the P.O. Sucks line got today. Tommy D. Andrade is definitely talking about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the show happens Monday through Friday. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you like the video stream, go subscribe at YouTube. I don't remember the YouTube URL. Maybe Clemente can pin it. It's not that hard to find. We got 15 million views. You'll be able to find it. Anyway, the show's also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, or right here on Twitter Spaces. Go to thenifty.com, claim the free NFT today. I don't know if Clemente, did you say the password of the free NFT?
Explorer,
ladies and gentlemen, thenifty.com. Explorer is